Ozzy Osbourne stopped a 9-year-old from selling her father's guitar. He was walking past a tiny pawn shop when he saw a little girl holding a dusty guitar. But when she whispered, "It was my dad's, but I need to sell it," Ozzy Osbourne froze like stone. Backhand Index Pointing Right subscribe to Voices of Darkness for more emotional, life-changing stories. Backhand Index Pointing Right, like, and share this video with your friends. Prove your love for Ozzy Osbourne. The story begins on a cold Sunday morning in Los Angeles, when the city was still waking from its neon dreams. The streets were quiet, washed clean by a midnight rain that left tiny reflections dancing on the pavement. Ozzy Osbourne, wrapped in a long black coat and wearing his signature round glasses, was walking alone. No cameras, no security, no entourage. He often took these silent walks to clear his mind. Music, fame, lights, they burned bright. But they also left shadows as he turned the corner onto Valencia Street. He noticed a dimly lit pawn shop, dusty guitars, old radios, cracked vinyl covers, broken violins. Everything seemed like pieces of forgotten stories. But one thing pulled his attention like a magnet: a little girl, about 9 years old, standing inside, her tiny hands gripping the neck of an old acoustic guitar. Her dark hair was tied in a messy ponytail, and her eyes carried a grief far too heavy for a child. Ozzy stepped closer, squinting through the glass. The shop owner was speaking to her, shaking his head, returning the guitar. The girl looked defeated, but not angry, just heartbroken. She stepped outside. The cold morning wind hit her face, but she didn't flinch. She walked slowly, hugging the guitar like it was the last piece of someone she couldn't let go. Ozzy couldn't help himself to approach gently. "Hey, love, that a beautiful guitar you have there," he said softly. The girl looked up, startled at first, then confused, and her eyes widened. "Oh, Ozzy." "Osbourne." He smiled, lowering himself to her level. "Yeah, it's me. What's your name, darling?" "Lena," she whispered. "Nice to meet you, Lena. Why were you trying to sell your guitar? You're too young to be letting go of music." Her lips trembled. "It was my dad's." Ozzy's smile faded. "Your dad's?" She nodded, clenching the guitar tighter. "He died last year." The world paused. "And I want to help my mom. We don't have enough money for rent this month. She doesn't know I came here." Ozzy felt his heart crack open. This wasn't just a child selling an instrument. This was a child trying to save her family. He sat on the sidewalk beside her, ignoring the cold concrete. "Lena, how old was your dad?" 37. "And he played this guitar?" "All the time. He used to say this guitar made him feel alive. He taught me how to play too, but what?" Ozzy whispered. She swallowed hard. "I'm not good enough. If I was, maybe I could earn money for Mom." Ozzy placed a hand gently over hers, a hand that held decades of music, madness, and miracles. "Listen to me, Lena. You don't sell your memories to fix your life. You use them to become stronger." A tear finally escaped her eye. "I miss him so much." Ozzy's voice broke. "I know that feeling more than you think." Lena lifted the guitar, almost embarrassed. "I can't play well. I'm trying, but..." Ozzy chuckled softly. "Give me your hands." She placed her tiny, trembling hands. He examined her fingertips. "Look at that. These are the hands of a musician. You've already got calluses forming. That means you practice." She blushed. "I practice at night, so Mom doesn't hear and get sad." Ozzy swallowed the lump rising in his throat. "Play something for me, love." She hesitated, then nodded. Right there on the sidewalk of Valencia Street, surrounded by morning mist and the hum of distant city life, little Lena shifted the guitar into her lap. Her fingers shook. She played slowly and perfectly, but with raw, honest emotion, a simple tune, one her father had written. A lullaby. When she finished, she lowered her head. "I told you, I'm not good." Ozzy wiped a tear from behind his glasses. "Lena, that wasn't good." She looked away sadly. He gently lifted her chin. "That was beautiful." Her eyes widened. "That was real, honest, pure. Music isn't about perfection. It's about heart. And you, Lena, you have more heart than half the musicians I've known." A tiny smile formed on her lips, the first in a long time. Ozzy stood up slowly. "Lena, I'm not letting you sell that guitar." But we need money. Ozzy raised a gentle hand. I'll help your mom. You don't sell your dad's soul to save your home. You keep it. You honor it. You play it. She hugged the guitar tightly. Ozzy looked up at the sky, as if speaking to someone he once knew, someone he lost too. Then he looked back at her. Come on, let's go talk to your mom. Lena blinked. You're coming with me? With you? Absolutely. I'm Ozzy Osbourne. I don't run from tough situations. He winked. She laughed softly, something fragile but real, and they began walking toward the small apartment where everything would change. Lena walked beside Ozzy, clutching guitar so tightly that her knuckles turned pale. The morning air carried a cold bite, but Ozzy's presence seemed to warm her steps. She kept glancing at him, almost disbelieving he was real. Ozzy, do you really think I can play well someday? She asked softly as he smiled down at her. You don't need to wait for someday. You already can. The girl lowered her head shyly, a soft smile breaking to the sadness that had lived there for months. They walked through narrow streets, past closed bakeries and flickering neon signs. Los Angeles had a strange beauty in the early hours, quiet, reflective, almost healing. Does your mom know you left? Ozzy asked gently. Lena hesitated. No, she was sleeping. She cries a lot at night. Ozzy inhaled sharply. Grief was an old language he understood fluently. Your father, he must have been a good man, Ozzy said as they walked. The best, she whispered. He used to sit beside me and teach me chords. He said music could fix people, even when the world broke them. A painful smile crossed Ozzy's face. That sounds like something I would have said to my kids. They turned into a quiet neighborhood with small old apartments lined in a row. Some windows were cracked, some gardens overgrown, yet each home had a certain stubborn dignity. Families trying to survive. Lena pointed at one, a faded blue door, chip paint, a rusty mailbox. That's our home. Ozzy paused, looking at the tiny apartment. There was heaviness in the air, like the walls themselves carried sorrow. You ready? He asked. She nodded, but he could tell she was scared. Don't worry. I'll speak first, Ozzy assured her. Nobody gets mad at a little girl trying to help her family. And nobody gets mad at Ozzy Osbourne either, he added with a goofy grin. Lena giggled nervously, but genuinely he placed a hand on her shoulder. Come on. White Medium Star Part 2. The mother who lost everything. When they reached the door, Lena turned the knob slowly. It wasn't locked. Inside, the apartment felt like a museum of grief. Quiet, gray. Still, the picture frame lay on the couch, a smiling man holding a guitar that looked exactly like the one Lena was carrying. The air smelled faintly of lavender and dust. "Eh, Mom?" Lena called from the small kitchen. Footsteps approached, slow and tired. Her mother appeared, wearing an oversized sweater, her hair messy and her eyes swollen from crying. When she saw Lena, she rushed forward. Lena, where were you? I woke up and you weren't. She froze. Her eyes landed on Ozzy Osbourne standing in her living room. Her mouth fell open, and she took a step back like she was seeing an angel and a ghost at the same time. Oh, my God! Are you? Yes, ma'am, Ozzy said warmly. I'm Ozzy. Sorry to drop by uninvited. She covered her mouth, overwhelmed. What is happening? Why is he here, Lena? Lena clutched the guitar. Mom, I went to the pawn shop. I wanted to sell Dad's guitar because we need money. But her voice broke. I didn't want you to worry. Her mother's eyes filled instantly. She dropped to her knees and hugged Lena so tightly that the child whimpered. No, baby, no. You never give up your father's guitar. Never. Ozzy stepped closer. Ma'am, your daughter is a brave little soul. She wasn't doing something wrong. She was trying to protect you. The mother wiped tears from her cheeks. Her voice trembled. I just don't know how to keep going anymore. After my husband died, everything fell apart. Bills piled up, rent went up, work hours got cut. And Lena, she saw me drowning. Ozzy's eyes softened. Grief comes like a storm, he said quietly. But storms aren't meant to last forever. She nodded shakily. I'm sorry this is just so overwhelming. Ozzy gently placed a hand on the guitar. Your husband played this, right? She nodded slowly. He wrote songs, lullabies for Lena. He always said he'd teach her everything when she grew older. Ozzy swallowed hard. Well, then we have a responsibility to keep his music alive. White Medium Star Part 2. The offer Lena didn't expect Ozzy stepped forward, his voice suddenly firm in that fatherly rock star way. Ma'am, I want to help. I'm not here to interfere. I'm here because your daughter touched my heart today. Lena's mother blinked. Help? But we can't accept money like... Ozzy raised a hand. No, I'm not handing you charity. I'm giving Lena what her father wanted for her. He turned to the girl. You're going to learn music properly. You're going to play this guitar until it sings like it used to in your father's hands. And I'm going to help you. Lena gasped. Her mother covered her mouth again. You do that? The mother whispered. Ozzy nodded. Music saved my life more times than I can count. It healed me when nothing else could. I think it can heal you both, too. He looked down at Lena. But it starts with one promise. She clutched the guitar tighter. What promise? That you will never try to sell this guitar again. Not even when life gets hard. This, he pointed at the instrument, is not just wood and strings. It's your father's heartbeat. Lena burst into tears. I promise. Ozzy knelt and hugged her as the morning sunlight spilled through the curtain, landing on all three of them like a blessing. Later that afternoon, the small apartment felt different, lighter, warmer, like for the first time in months. Grief wasn't suffocating the air. Ozzy sat on a worn-out sofa, fingers tapping gently on his knee, watching Lena tune her father's guitar. She sat cross-legged on the carpet, tongue peeking out in concentration, just like a kid trying to solve a puzzle they desperately want to get right. Her mother stood nearby, still shaken but calmer now, occasionally wiping her eyes as if she couldn't believe the scene unfolding in her living room. You remember how to tune by ear? Ozzy asked. A little, Lena replied shyly. Good. Trust your ear more than your fear. She nodded and turned the pegs slowly. A few sour notes came out. Then a chord that rang clear. Ozzy smiled wide. There it is. That guitar remembers you, love. Lena's face lit up with shy pride. Can I try the lullaby again? She asked. Ozzy leaned forward, elbows on knees. Play for your dad, he said softly. Her mother held her breath as Lena began to play. This time, something changed. Her fingers trembled less. The melody flowed steadier. The notes carried her father's warmth, but also her own. Halfway through, she stumbled and stopped. Sorry, I messed up. Ozzy shook his head instantly. No, you felt it. That's what matters. He scooted closer and adjusted her hand position gently. Try it like this. Lift your wrist a little. Let your fingers fall naturally. Don't force them. She did. The chord rang out beautifully. Her eyes widened. Her mother gasped softly. See? Ozzy whispered. Music doesn't want to fight you. It wants to flow through you. Lena started the lullaby again, this time smoother, stronger, and in that tiny room, something incredible happened. Her mother broke into tears. But for the first time, they weren't tears of grief. They were tears of healing. When the last note faded, Lena lowered the guitar and wiped her face. I think I felt him, she whispered. I felt Dad here in the room. Her mother rushed to her, hugging her tightly. He would be so proud of you, she cried. So proud. Ozzy smiled, but behind it was a deep ache. He had lost loved ones, too. He knew what it was like to hear ghosts and melodies. Lena looked at him suddenly. Ozzy, do you think I can ever play songs like he did? Real songs? Not just a lullaby. He leaned back and crossed his arms dramatically. Can you? No. Her face fell. Ozzy tapped her forehead with one finger. You won't play like your dad. Then he tapped her chest. You'll play like you. Her jaw dropped a little. Even her mother blinked at that. Your father didn't want you to copy him, Ozzy continued. He wanted you to grow past him. He wanted you to be stronger, louder, braver. Lena looked down at the guitar. I want to be good enough to make him proud. Ozzy's smile became warm and heavy. You already are, love. Lena's mother suddenly turned to a small drawer near the bookshelf. One Lena had never opened. The mother pulled out a brown, worn notebook tied with a string. What's that? Lena asked. Her mother held it gently, almost reverently. This was your father's songwriting journal. Lena's breath caught. I didn't give it to you because I thought you weren't ready. I wasn't either. She handed the notebook to her daughter. For you? Lena opened it slowly. Inside were scribbled lyrics, half-finished songs, chord diagrams, little notes. For Lena, one day you'll play better than me. Teach her patience. Teach her hope. Her hands are small now, but they'll grow into something powerful. The tears came instantly. Ozzy leaned closer to look. Your dad was a real musician, he whispered. Not because he played guitar, but because he understood what music is for. He placed a hand over the notebook. This is priceless. Lena hugged it to her chest. I'm never letting this go. You shouldn't. Ozzy said softly, This is your legacy. Ozzy stood, pacing slowly, thinking. Then he turned to Lena and her mother with a look of sudden determination. Listen, I've got an idea. Something big. They both looked up, startled. What idea? Lena asked. Ozzy folded his arms. I want to record the lullaby. Lena froze. Her mother gasped. And me? Record? With you? Lena stuttered. Ozzy nodded firmly. You and me? Together. A duet. A tribute to your dad. Lena's face went white with shock. But I'm not good. I can't. I'm just your Lena, he said. And that's enough. Her mother shook her head, overwhelmed. Ozzy, we can't accept something that huge. She's just a child. Ozzy smiled. A child who plays with more heart than half the industry. He knelt down to look Lena in the eyes. You don't need fame. You don't need perfection. You just need what you already have. She blinked. What's that? He pointed at her chest again. Love? Lena burst into tears again, this time from joy. Her mother covered her mouth, crying too. But only if you want to. Ozzy said softly. Lena's voice trembled. I want to record Dad's song with you. Ozzy nodded. Then we will. The next morning, Ozzy returned with his black SUV, a gentle smile, and 2 cups of warm hot chocolate. One for Lena, one for her mother. Ready for the big day? He asked. Lena clutched her father's guitar, wearing her dad's old denim jacket. Too big on her shoulders, sleeves rolled up twice. She looked like a miniature musician who carried a legacy larger than life. Ready, she whispered. Her mother walked with them to the car, nerves fluttering across her face. Ozzy, I don't know how to thank you for this, she said. You don't need to, he replied. Thank your husband. His music brought us together. As they drove through L.A.'s streets, Lena rested her guitar on her lap. Ozzy watched her from the corner of his eye. You nervous? He asked. Terrified, she admitted. He chuckled. Good. That means you care. She turned toward the window. Ozzy. Yes, love. What if I mess up? Ozzy leaned forward, lowering his voice. Then we'll keep recording until you don't. She laughed through her nerves. Her mother, sitting quietly behind them, watched the man who had somehow walked into their broken world and begun stitching wounds no one else could see. The studio was warm, filled with soft lighting, cables, microphones, guitars hanging on walls like ancient guardians of forgotten songs. When Lena stepped inside, she froze. A large photo hung on a wall, her father performing at a local cafe years ago. Her mother let out a soft gasp. Ozzy, how? Ozzy shrugged casually. Found it on your husband's old social media. Thought it would help her feel he's here today. Lena touched the frame gently. Her eyes shimmered. I remember this day, she whispered. I was little. He let me strum one chord on stage. Ozzy rested a hand on her shoulder. Then let's strum 1,000,000 more today. Lena stood behind the microphone. Ozzy stood beside her, headphones on, ready to sing harmony. The engineer raised a hand. Rolling in 3, 2, 1, the lullaby began. Lena's fingers touched the strings, her father's strings, but her hand shook uncontrollably. The chord came out weak, then wobbly, then wrong. She stopped abruptly. I can't do this. Her breathing quickened. Ozzy immediately knelt beside her. Hey, it's okay. She pressed her forehead against the guitar. tears dripping onto the wood. What if I disappoint him? What if he hears me from heaven and thinks I'm not strong enough? Ozzy gently lifted her chin. Lena, your dad is hearing you right now, and he's smiling, not because you're perfect, but because you're brave enough to try. She sniffled. I miss him. Ozzy wiped her cheeks. Then play for him. They tried again. Rolling. In 3, 2, 1, the track began softly. Lena closed her eyes. She imagined her father sitting across from her, guitar in hand, smiling, whispering, Relax, little star. Let the music breathe. Her fingers moved. This time, the chords rang out beautifully. Soft, warm, pure. Ozzy began to sing harmony. Deep, emotional, guiding her like a gentle shadow. Then Lena opened her mouth and sang. Her voice wasn't loud, wasn't trained, wasn't perfect, but it was innocent and true and filled with love so powerful that even the sound engineer pulled off his glasses to wipe a tear. Her mother broke down behind the glass, kneeling in her seat, hand pressed over her heart. By the end of the take, even Ozzy had tears streaming beneath his glasses. Lena held the final note, trembling. Silence. Then the engineer whispered, That was magic. After playback, Lena gasped, That's me? I sound like Dad teaching me. Her mother hugged her tightly. You sound like you, she whispered, and you sound beautiful. Ozzy cleared his throat, emotional. Now for the surprise. He motioned the engineer to play something else. A new track began, a soft, older recording. A man's voice, warm, gentle, singing the same lullaby. Lena froze. That's Dad. Her knees buckled, and Ozzy caught her. I found an old video clip your mother sent me, Ozzy said softly. We cleaned the audio. And now, the lullaby faded into Lena's voice, perfectly harmonized. Then Ozzy's low harmony joined them both. A 3-part harmony. A father, a daughter, and Ozzy Osbourne. Lena sobbed uncontrollably. He's singing with me. Dad's singing with me. Her mother cried into her hands. Ozzy placed a hand over Lena's heart. He's always been singing with you, love. You just finally heard it. A week later, Ozzy uploaded the song on his channel with the title, A Father's Lullaby, Lena and Ozzy Osbourne Tribute. Within hours, it went viral. Millions watched. Millions cried. Millions wrote comments like, This little girl has a heart of a lion. Her father will be so proud. Ozzy, you restore my faith in humanity. And the biggest comment of all, music saved a family today. Lena's mother got job offers through the publicity. Fans donated to help pay their rent. Music schools reached out offering Lena full scholarships. But the best moment came one quiet evening, when Lena sat with her mother on the same sofa where everything had once felt hopeless. Mom, Lena asked softly. Yes, sweetie, I'm going to keep playing. For Dad, for us, and for me. Her mother kissed her forehead. That's all he ever wanted. Lena picked up the guitar again, her father's guitar, her future, her heartbeat. She strummed a lullaby, not perfectly, not loudly, but beautifully. Across the room, Ozzy's framed photo, signed with a message, sat on the table. For Lena, keep playing. You saved me too. Ozzy Osbourne. Lena smiled and whispered, Thank you, Ozzy. Then she began to play again, letting the music fill the home that finally felt alive. Red Heart, if you love Ozzy Osbourne, prove it. Backhand Index Boing Right subscribe to Voices of Darkness Backhand Index Boing Right like, and share this video Backhand Index Boing Right. Help us reach the 1,000 subscribers target.